Last week, we brought you the exclusive story of a Collins family trying to clear the name of their daughter, sentenced to 44 years for assault and theft. It's been a 10-year battle without any success until now. They have new hope thanks to a national organization called the Innocence Project. After years of trying to clear their daughter's name, Pete and Sheila Stubbs see a light at the end of a very dark tunnel. The Innocence Project, a national organization that has helped overturn hundreds of wrongful convictions, has joined the Stubbs fight.
I understand now that just because you're arrested and you're convicted doesn't mean you're necessarily guilty.
That's what the Stubbs have been trying to prove for 10 years in the case of their daughter Leigh, now 31, who was convicted of conspiracy to steal morphine and commit grand larceny, as well as possession of morphine and aggravated assault with the help of testimony from a discredited Hattiesburg doctor. Leigh was charged after a trip home from a North Mississippi rehab center with 2 other girls, ended up leaving one in the hospital recovering from a drug overdose and sexual assault wounds.
If they ever label you guilty, I mean, it takes an act of God to get you back into a courtroom.
Leigh and her friend Tammy Vance were both sentenced to 44 years in prison, a verdict unacceptable to the Stubbs and the North Mississippi-based Innocence Project.
They're responsible for freeing hundreds and hundreds of people that are or were convicted and were actually innocent.
Criminal defense attorney Merida Coxwell volunteers with the organization and is one of 3 attorneys working to overturn the convictions of Leigh Stubbs and Tammy Vance.
The legal system is a very, very hard place. It deals with people, it can deal with people very harshly, and innocent people get convicted.
Coxwell says the Innocence Project has worked on at least 4 cases in Mississippi where they helped clear the names of people wrongfully imprisoned for more than a decade.
They were proven completely not guilty, 2 or 3 in Hattiesburg, 2 in North Mississippi. They were completely cleared by DNA. Not all of the cases involve DNA, but many of them do. One man was on death row.
And in at least one of those cases, the same discredited witness who testified for the state, Dr. Michael West, testified in the Stubbs case as an expert in bite mark identification, wound patterns, and video enhancement.
There are studies by psychologists and sociologists all over the country about mistaken identification, because in every one of the cases where people have been convicted and sent to prison and later cleared, completely cleared by DNA, there was positive eyewitness identification that said that's the person that did it. So when they get cleared, what do we know? Is that they were wrong. And what's so disturbing in this case was you had Dr. West manufacture a vision that he told the jury. He says, you can't really see this, but this is what I see.
And tomorrow night at 6, we'll learn more about the mistakes and inconsistencies lawyers with the Innocence Project have found and where the case stands as of today.